Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Screen Scene Guru coming at you with another news entertainment update. Thank you for coming to my channel. For all of you that are first comers, I talk about news, entertainment stories, breaking stories of the week. This is from a few days ago. We are now on July 23rd. Can't believe it. We're almost all the way to August. I'm looking forward to it very much. Real quick update, this is going to be my Comic-Con 2026 panel review real quick on this channel. We are going to be talking about certain updates from Comic-Con. We're also going to be talking about sad news a bit later on in the channel, but for us to keep our spirits high. So let's get into this with the news starting off. So we've got, if you guys have listened to the Hot Mic with John Roca and Jeff Schneider, I highly recommend you go and subscribe to their channel. It was confirmed on the Hot Mic that Anthony Apalio may be considered for an X-Men role. Now, this is the iconic actor that was in the I Play Rocky trailer. It scored the #1 most viewed trailer on YouTube for 2026. The actor Anthony Apalio, I believe he's got great things coming down the line for his work. Can't wait to see the movie in November. So that's really awesome. We also got some Ryan Murphy news, some exclusive breaking news. We've got the newest series, The Shards, premiered. A few people got the screeners for that series, and that's like the first 3 episodes, I want to say. And they said the cast was fantastic. But on some other news, his other series, The Beauty, the French comic book adaptation series, wasn't renewed for season 2. The casting now has been let go of their contracts, so they're able to go and get other work, which is interesting because we thought that it was going to be turned into a 3-part series, like the 3-part comic, but unfortunately FX Hulu didn't renew The Beauty for a season 2. So that is some unfortunate news. I never got around to watching that one from Ryan Murphy, but I am looking forward to his new American Horror Story season 13. Can't wait for it. I did do a bit of an update earlier in the year saying that Ariana Grande couldn't make her film slate for the season due to her tour happening. But we do have iconic legacy characters coming back, so that is really fun to see. So let's move on from there. See what else we've got. So this is on July 19th. We've got G.I. Joe announcements. Now this is the Danny McBride. He wrote the script. Now he's going to be directing. This is going to be his directorial debut. I'm a big fan of Danny McBride, so I'm hoping this is going to be a very good one for him. We're hearing that Chris Pratt has joined the project, as well as Walton Goggins, which that's really interesting because I'm hoping he's going to play perhaps someone from Cobra. We've seen him a lot in those Walmart commercials, and I think he could play a very good villain. Let's see, we've got Waffle House Index could be happening. It's a story about a lady stewardess or at a diner where a madman comes in late night and he demands ridiculous demands, and there's no one really tending the coffee store, so that's interesting. Waffle House Index. It's also kind of a catalog that the government uses and Staples use for categorizing impacts to weather storms. There's a lot of storms happening right now. I want to bring awareness to across the South there and in Texas, getting big floods happening. So I want to big shout out to all the first responders trying to get people up and off the water. Of course, there's big climate disasters going on, globally. But yeah, I just want to bring up that interesting new horror film that Aviara Nariette, the actress from Obsession, was possibly eyeing to be the diner stewardess. But now they're saying that she might not have the role. She might be looking for bigger, better things like X-Men. So that's interesting. A rumor about the Crystal Lake series that Jason may be part of a secret project codenamed Argonaut. So I thought this was kind of interesting. They've always kind of played up that Jason is evil because he's just evil, or that the fact he died on a Native American Burial Ground, something like Pet Cemetery vibes. But now they're trying to twist this, and Peacock series, Crystal Lake, is maybe going into the government, creating a evil program. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I'm looking forward to the show, even though I don't know Peacock. But Project Argonaut is a very interesting term, because we do know in Jason X he fights people in space. So is that kind of like a hybrid between an astronaut and like someone that's dead, an Argonaut? I don't know, but it kind of sounds dope. Let's see, Batman Part 2. It's going to premiere 6 years after the first one because it got delayed to 2028. So just wanted to say, the time scales with these movies is interesting, because when the first one came out, I think they wanted to say 4 years between films, but now it's going to be 6. So it does take a minute before we get these other projects. And then we got people are saying Nolan brings the best and worst traits of his styling to the Odyssey, which is very interesting. I haven't seen the Odyssey yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Can't wait. I'm seeing a lot of clips on TikTok, of course. And then domestic box office reports, guys. I just want to talk about this real quick before I go into other news. The Odyssey is number 1. This was as of July 20th, so a few days ago. It had $193 million already earned off its first week and a half. Number 2 was Moana live action. It was $82 million, so it's solid numbers, but they're saying that it could still lose Disney a significant amount of money, which is shocking to me. I thought the Moana fan cast was going to be huge, but the fact that it came out right around the same time as Toy Story 5, I felt like may have lightened the punch it could have had, perhaps. Number 3, we've got Toy Story 5, which was $430.9 million. So it was just taking up all that box office. Number 4, we had Minions and Monsters at $137.5 million. So it's doing pretty good for a franchise. Number 5, we had Evil Dead Burn at just $24.1 million. For the 6th installment, though, I'd say that's pretty good. Or I think it's like the 5th or 6th. The Invite, which was an A24 original film, just $15 million. Then we got number 7 was Young Washington from Angel Studios, which was just $41 million. Number 8, Obsession, which was at $258.4 million. Pretty good. Number 9, Supergirl at $69.9 million. And then number 10, Disclosure Day at $114.7 million, which, Spielberg, he's still making the cash. Avengers Doomsday dropped its first official trailer, which is awesome. I'd like to see it on IMAX, on a bigger screen, and maybe get more details out of it. But I thought, just at first glance, everything we're getting out of it looks intense. It looks, like they've worked hard on it, so that's good. The Paramount Warner Brothers merger has been blocked by a judge. It's been put into a restraining act, so they can't go forward with the merge for 14 days. Now, this act went into it started on July the 20th. It's going to last until about August 10th, something like that. So 14 days, there can no longer be a merger. They're having to look at it due to they're worried it breaks antitrust laws. So Paramount's refuting this. They're trying to say there's nothing here. We'll have to see. It's going to have to settle out in the courts. Jurassic World Liberation is the title for the next Jurassic World film. I talked about this on one of my social media pages. I posted about this. I watched Camp Cretaceous on Netflix. Big fan of Camp Cretaceous. In some ways, I feel like they went further in that than the movies. But Jurassic World Liberation is the working title for the next film. And apparently they're going to bring back the director from Jurassic World Rebirth. He's just coming back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The Tate brothers were arrested again for assault, human trafficking, other illicit crimes. I'm glad they finally got him. They booked him. We'll see if the lawyers are able to get him out, or if they're able to stay and do some real serious time. This goes along with one of the top modeling recruiters that was involved in the Epstein negotiations, or the recruitment, was found dead in Paris, when a lot of people were investigating him in Paris for having Epstein connections. He was just found dead recently. It's reported on the news. You might have seen. Let's see, Ryan Reynolds just confirmed Deadpool 4 is happening. So that is confirmed from Ryan Reynolds. Very interesting stuff, I believe, on his Instagram social media page. The first trailer for Other Mommy is out as well, with Jessica Chastain returning to horror. I thought it was a very interesting trailer. I'm not exactly sure what the premise is. I had a preconceived notion that she was a robot, but now I'm thinking she's something else, maybe. That could be interesting. Anna Sophia joins the action thriller Supermax. So if you guys aren't familiar with Anna Sophia, she's a child actress. She's now adult. She's a grown-up. She also was a big show-up in the I Play Rocky trailer. She plays Rocky's first wife, who inspires him to write a script about himself. So yeah, Anna Sophia, can't wait to see her in this other project, Supermax, with Will Smith. That sounds like she's getting a great career comeback. So let's see what else. That was July 20th. Go on a bit from there. Okay, I've got like a page and a half, and then I can show off some stuff, guys. July 21st, we've got Kayleehottle, unfortunately tragically passed away in a car accident. Now, this is the deaf actress from the Godzilla Kong franchise. I was a tremendous fan of hers. I was shocked to see the news. I'm sure her family is devastated. She was one of 2 passengers that tragically lost their lives in this unexpected accident. She was just 18 years old, so I wanted to bring up that as well. We were expecting to see her in the latest Godzilla Kong Supernova, but now, unfortunately, we've got 2 actors and actresses that are no longer with us, Sam Neill and now Kayleehottle. I'm hoping they do a big shout out to them at the end, maybe a post-credit in memory of them, which would be cool. A lot of people are saying on social media the studio Lionsgate or Legendary Studios, I'm not sure who owns the Monsterverse. I think it's maybe Legendary. Should do a little like a in honor to. Evil Dead Wrath is set to be a prequel to the original film, so they already announced they're doing another Evil Dead. Sam Raimi's coming back to direct, but now this is going to be a prequel to the original Evil Dead, which is a development I didn't know was happening. But Sydney Sweeney's Netflix Gungam film apparently wraps filming, guys. I'm a huge Gungam fan. Can't wait for this to happen, even though some people are a little on the edge about Sydney Sweeney, especially since the Euphoria, American Eagle controversies. I don't care necessarily. I want to see what she's got, for sure. Also, she's producing a Sleepy Hollow series just called Hollow, which I wouldn't mind seeing that as well. Let's see. We've got an action thriller called Runaway with James Franco, Josh Dunham, and Paula Patton is being worked on. So this is going to be like kind of the return for James Franco in action and in Hollywood kind of in the last couple of years. I know he did a stunt on TikTok about seeing aliens in his house. He was like just hanging out in the house, doing videos at home, maybe with his girlfriend or whatever, but now he's coming back to Hollywood officially, which is kind of interesting in this movie called The Runaway. Now we've got the Clayton Act is a major road bump for the merger for Paramount and Warner Brothers. They're trying to use this Clayton Act, which has been around since the 70s. You know, it's basic law. It's been done up, but a lot of people aren't well versed on it. But yeah, to prevent the companies from becoming one whole, trying to use these laws. Tro May Clift. So yeah, the merger may go into effect, or it may go back to where Warner Brothers goes back on for sale. They're thinking, because if this is a monopsony, like what they're claiming. It's going to be basically all of the news agencies, all the companies. Nexstar is trying to buy up. They're trying to prevent Nexstar from buying up like 5 major television companies, because they're not only trying to get control of the movie industry, they're trying to get over, won us over on the streaming side as well. So it really is like a MAGA future, if you will. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying it's very one-sided, where we used to have variety and choices. They're going to limit that, which is why they're trying to prevent the merger. Okay, so we got that done with. We got Will Shatner and his daughter come out publicly about their cancer diagnosis. They're now officially cancer-free. Wanted to bring up that. That's really cool. Didn't even know they were sick. I mean, I've seen Will Shatner in shows recently, like that Unexplained. He did look a little bit different. I didn't know like if he was sick or what, but the fact that him and his daughter were both sick at the same time, and now they're both cancer-free, I think it's an inspiring story. We got Days of Thunder 2 was just confirmed, with Jonathan Levy in talks to direct. Tom Cruise returns for a Days of Thunder 2, which we pretty much assumed since F1 was a thing with Brad Pitt. They were going to do a maybe crossover event. I'm not sure if that's still happening or if that's like a fantasy, but it's now closer than ever before. Let's go on. Meg 3 with Jason Statham. Just confirmed. Third one. And it's called Primal Waters. I'm a big fan of the Meg movies. I'm a big fan of Jason Statham. He's his own genre. It's officially in development with Ben Wheatley directing. I've never heard of Ben Wheatley. Don't know what he's done, but I'm looking forward to this. Avengers Doomsday tickets are already on sale. One of the biggest record-selling tickets since the Odyssey last year. So tickets are already being scalped. They're on eBay for hundreds of dollars. So that's very interesting. I'm sure they expected that. We also got the Pescavito YouTube page turned 5 years old. If you guys aren't following Pescavito, you should. He's very knowledgeable. Pavel down in Mexico. He covers the topic of the phenomenon, the unexplained, government sources, talking about how to get disclosure. I'm really big fan of his. I've been following him for about a year now, but I report on similar things that Harloff down at Down to Earth reports on, and other pages throughout YouTube report on as well. I here at Screen Guru try to report on these stories, try to get them awareness. Tim Machinelli talked with Jeremy Corbell recently, and Corbell believed that this whole allowing whistleblowers to come forward was a way of catching them in a net to try to cap them. And he's publicly come out and said they've tried to use several snares and traps to get whistleblowers slipping, catch them slipping. Tried to threaten them with some kind of, a treason act. The treason act, which could put them in jail or just like in their lives. So that's a big major no-no. Jeremy Corbell wants to bring up. George Knapp brought up before. The president wants to waive NDAs for a certain few that's already retired. This doesn't technically count people that are currently working in government now, which is concerning, but he wants to allow former government employees can now come to AARO, or they can go to the Pentagon's Department of War, so basically HEGSEF, and they can disclose what they know, which I feel like this is a very channeled, funneling in the cattle to slaughter almost, or to get control of the narrative, because they don't want these people telling too many stories that aren't, approved. So that is interesting. It's very concerning for the public. I believe they deserve disclosure. I believe they deserve to see the bodies, the tech, all of that. That being said, I've got some things to show off myself. So without further ado, let's do that. I've got both a little bit of physical media and I've got comics. So I'll do a little bit of both real quick. Starting off with my comic book collection, I was able to find a nice stack on the marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, and offer quick comics for cash. I was able to get some nice retro vintage super family comics, which is awesome, with the new Supergirl movie coming out. That was part of my newsletter that I wanted to discuss. Supergirl reportedly is coming out to stream home on July 28th, so very soon. Kind of faster than people expected it to. As well as Masters of the Universe is available now on digital. You can watch it at home, which is really fun. Got another Super Family comic. I'm not exactly sure what year these were, guys. I believe they're from the 90s. Pretty awesome comic book collection. Most of them are in like pretty nice condition, I'd say. Another Super Family. And this is kind of what the James Gunn new DCU is building up to. So that's really awesome. Got some more Super Family. Love the classic retro look. And with Comic-Con going on right now, I figured it was better to buy classic comics than new ones, because the new ones would be pricey. But there's nothing wrong with these vintage comics. And the lady I bought them from actually told me they'd probably go up in value. So that's kind of cool, depending on, if they get graded or whatever. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I've never really gotten around to it. But now with this collection I've started, maybe perhaps that's a good idea. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Show some Superboy. This is really cool. Another Superboy, this time with a genie. So the idea of having a comic book a week essentially was really iconic back in the day. I mean, Legion of Superheroes. This was probably in the future, far future. And another Legion of Superheroes. Let me know if you guys read these down in the comments below too, because I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with these. Got another Superboy. Love the covers. Covers are just really sick. Legion of Superheroes, which looks like a young Superboy with them. Nice. Another Superboy where he fights ghosts. The Phenomena guys. So I want to say, I've been a big DC lover for years, and in some way DC has satisfied my curiosity more than Marvel, I'd like to say. But that's just me, maybe. I'm not sure. If other people feel that way as well, let me know. Yeah, really cool Legion of Superheroes, which I've never even known what that is. Like, I get that they have the rings and they time travel. So is that just the Justice League in the future? Legion of Superheroes? Action Comics. It's a really good one. And then we got, funny enough, Yosemite Sam with Bugs Bunny. So like a Looney Tunes comic. And it's got someone's name on it, which I don't mind. I told him, I was like, if they're written on, that's fine. I got someone's previous collection, so. But another Action Comics. Yeah, pretty good. And then we got World's Finest, which is Batman. Check that out. Pretty cool. Which a lot of people think if they build up to a Batman Brave and the Bold, or something, after that with Batman and Superman, it'll probably be World's Finest. Kind of like what they're doing with Superman, the sequel's being called Man of Tomorrow instead of just Superman 2. I have a feeling they don't have the rights to that, Superman 2, because they've done it before and they've done Man of Steel, so now they're calling it Man of Tomorrow. Straight up Justice League comic. That's really cool. Justice League of America, even. So that's vintage. And then we got another Superman classic. And the last, but certainly not least, Superman Black and White, where he's like turning into a cryptid beast. A pretty good haul, I'd say. That was like 21 comics for the week of Comic-Con. Thank you. Alright guys, so I've gone through all my comics, the haul I recently got. Now let's get into some physical media. Let me grab my stack real quick. Okay. So if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, I recommend you please like the video, subscribe now, comment down below what you think of the stories, the coverage thus far. Oh, I also wanted to mention real quick, there's a new Resident Evil trailer. I didn't watch it with the sound yet, so I need to do a review for that. But because of the week of Comic-Con, there is a new Resident Evil trailer. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more. They revealed Lanterns merchandise, so that's really cool. I got my Green Lantern ring, which is awesome. First movie I've got from director Rennie Harland. We've got Deep Water. Now, I heard about this in the theater, and I, was heavily anticipating it, but I didn't have the time off to check it out. Now got it on DVD, so that's cool. They didn't have a Blu-ray of it, but of course, surviving the crash is just the beginning. A flight from Los Angeles to Shanghai goes down in the middle of the Pacific. After surviving the crash, survivors soon discover they're not alone. They must survive a shark-infested water, and apparently the action is just immediate. As soon as the plane crashes, the sharks are out, which I'm glad. I really like when they build up anticipation of, will the sharks attack? Will they wait? So I've heard good things about this. It's rated R. Let's see, it's about, it's 2026. It's from Magnetia Light. Interesting. ArcLight Films. I want to see if they have any runtime on. Oh, it's an hour and 46 minutes. So it's not that bad. Pretty cool. Deep Water. Next, we've got steelbooks. Now, when it comes to steelbooks, I usually don't buy them unless they're like important, I'd like to say. And these are, I'd say, pretty important steelbooks. Let me see if I've got a little thing to poke this with. But we've got, first off, the Untouchables steelbook, which is, I've been wanting to watch this for a long time. I've got Paramount Plus, so I could have streamed this if I wanted to, but this steelbook's awesome, guys. And if you haven't watched Untouchables, it's about the mob, cops fighting the mob, classic cinema. So I got my steelbook for the Untouchables, which is really cool, in 4K Blu-ray. I still haven't opened this yet, but I will right now on the channel, if I've got something to open it with. Let's see. Okay. Taking the silicone wrap off, which is nice. They keep it nice and tight for the collector. And then, yeah, usually they put some kind of like sticky stuff on the top to make sure the cover doesn't come off. But very nice. Classic. And I'll show off the back. Disc out real quick. Show the inside. They do have inside artwork. Pretty dope. But it is a 4K Blu-ray disc, so that is pretty dope. One disc, both formats, which is kind of what I prefer them do with Untouchables and every 4K Blu-ray Steelbook, which is dope. That's why I would buy it. And it's something I've been wanting to get in the collection for a long time. I'll probably end up keeping this maybe back sleeve somehow, cut it down like what Dieter does in Germany. But we've also got Piranha Steelbook. Now this is the original from the 70s, remastered. Never seen this before. I've watched the reboot that was in 2010 or 2012, but this one is very interesting. We've got while searching for a missing teenager, and one of the locals joins the search, they stumble upon a top secret army laboratory doing genetic research on piranhas for biological warfare. So instead of coming up out of a trench like in the reboot, this is a real government lab. Very interesting, maybe something more realistic. When they accidentally release from the compound, the deadly school of eating machines head towards downstream and eat anything and everything in their path. So this is the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook of Piranha. We'll definitely be checking this out as well. Not exactly sure what the graphics are going to look like necessarily. I'm hoping maybe they'll get some nice kills, perhaps. As far as horror, in the 70s, they had like summer camps and other things that were things that became iconic horror staples. So we'll see if that is the case. We've got the cover right here, Piranha, and then the back looks pretty nice as well. The piranha's all having a frenzy. Let's see, the New Horizon. It's from Shout Studios and Scream Factory. So shout out to Scream Factory, Shout Studios. They're doing the Lord's work, remastering these discs. Let's see. Okay, so this one is a double disc. So that is interesting. So I'll show off real quick. This is the 4K on the bottom. I'll take it out quick like I usually do in my collection. I'll show off the Blu-ray, which is them holding onto a raft or a surfboard. Take that one out of the collection and just show off the image on the back. It's just a woman underwater, it looks like. Which that's nice. I'm glad they went all out with the artwork, it looks like. You guys can tell that's a beautiful steelbook. Pretty good. So I will be putting the 4K back first in the back sleeve, because I don't really usually watch the 4Ks. It's nice to have, but I don't have a 4K player yet. And I usually put the Blu-rays in the front where they're easily accessible. But yeah, this was a good haul, I'd say, for discs and for comics for the week of Comic-Con. So be sure to check out more videos I have coming out in the future. Until next time, guys, stay safe, take care of each other, and enjoy reading comics. Come on. I'll be catching you in the next video. Bye-bye. Have a good time.